Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Tea with Yvonne. Today, we're going over one of the most devastating plagues, otherwise known as the Black Plague. Though this occurred over 1,000 years ago, this plague has saved many lives today. We have an expert on the topic here, but first, some background information on the plague that took over 50% of Europe's population. The Black Death, or the bubonic plague, known to the people from the Middle Ages as the blue sickness, got its name from the Latin word bubo, meaning pustule, growth, or swelling. Now we will go to Sydney Yang, a science expert from Harvard that will share her knowledge and understanding of this plague with us.
We are now taking off.
Thanks, Vaughn. I'm here in New York visiting my old friend Rosie Steiner, who graduated Harvard with a medical degree. She is now a world-renowned doctor who sees cases of HIV resistance quite often. Her ancestors were survivors of the Black Plague, which can now save her life. Today, some people are resistant to the HIV virus, a sign their ancestors once lived during and survived the Black Death. In fact, National Geographic says 10% of all Europeans are now resistant to the HIV virus. According to Stephen O'Brien and colleagues at the U.S. National Cancer Institute, a genetic mutation was found that gives its carriers protection against the HIV virus. This mutation became relatively common among white Europeans about 700 years ago, the same period in which the Black Death swept into Europe. Rosie, how are you impacted by this discovery?
Well, Sydney, as you know, my ancestors were survivors of the Black Plague. Because my ancestors survived the Black Plague, I wanted to research it, so I became a doctor. Something I've seen while being a doctor is that most of the HIV-resistant patients I've had are descendants of survivors of the Black Plague. This means the Black Plague has caused HIV resistance for some people.
It's so cool that you decided to help all these people. About how many people died due to the plague?
According to the CDC's website, it claimed an estimated 60% of Europe's population. Entire towns were wiped out. Some contemporary historians report that on occasion, there were not enough survivors remaining to bury the dead. As stated on the Khan Academy's website, the Black Death was caused by the Yersinia pestis bacteria, which lived in rodent populations and was spread by fleas that had bitten infected animals. Once the plague transferred to animals that were in close contact with humans and to humans themselves, it began to spread along established trade routes, one being the Silk Road. In 1348, the first outbreaks appeared in England. In July 1349, it spread to Scotland. In 1350, it stopped Scandinavia. And in 1351, it arrived in Kyiv, Ukraine.
Thanks, Rosie. Now back to Tabon in San Francisco.
Thanks, Sydney. Adding on to what Rosie said, the first historical record of the Black Plague was found in Central Asia during 1338. The plague reached China and India by 1346 and infected the Black Sea port of Kaffa by 1347. Fleeing ships would carry infected rats to Constantinople, modern-day Turkey, Istanbul, Marseille, and Italy during the year 1347. Sydney and Rosie, could you elaborate on the mutation that prevents HIV?
Of course. The mutation that prevents HIV from entering the cells occurs on a gene for the CCR5, a receptor on the surface of the macrophages. When a person becomes infected with HIV, the virus latches onto the CCR5 and another protein, CD4, to be transported inside the macrophages.
Adding on to that, what I have seen from some of my patients is that the CCR5 gene is disabled in people with the full mutation, and so HIV is unable to gain access to the macrophages. If an individual inherits the gene from both parents, they are essentially immune to HIV infection. People with one mutant gene and one normal gene can be infected, but tend to survive longer than infected people with two normal CCR5 genes.
So it seems as though people with the mutation called CCR532 were killed by the Black Death, so that those with the mutation survived to produce and increase its prevalence today. On today's episode of Tea with Taban, we learn about the importance of people that survived the Black Plague due to certain mutated genes that allow the human population to be stronger and more resistant to some of the world's most dangerous viruses. The mutation that allowed them to be resistant to the Black Death has helped many people today. And as more mutations and humans arise, the stranger we will become as a population. Thank you for tuning in for this week's episode. Make sure to come back every Thursday at 6 p.m. for more Tea with Tabak.
La 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 la.
Sorry, I lost my place. Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that good?
Why isn't it stopping?
Rosie said the first historical record of the Black Plague was found in Central Asia. Devastating plagues that took over. I'm sorry.